Hello, it's your boy Rahim. Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to share how to check demand for your service accommodation or rent to service accommodation. Obviously, if you're buying the property, it is service accommodation. If you're renting it out from a landlord, it's rent to service accommodation. Before I get going, if you like this video, smash the like button below and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of these videos. Let's get to it. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to use a website called Airdna. It's a very fantastic website. I use it to analyze all my SA deals just to ensure that I know whether I'm able to let these properties out or not. So it helps, it gives you lots of information on what to help you make a decisive decision to either secure or buy a service accommodation property that will generate you hefty return on investment. So let's get to the website. Okay, so it's Airdna. So if I type Airdna, it gets us to the actual landing page of the website itself. So basically we've got about 5 menus there. We've got the market minder, which tells you about what the market is like, and obviously you've got the custom data, and then obviously you've got the pricing. The pricing is if you want to actually be laser focused on the specific area or the specific street or town or the specific postcode you want to invest in. If you use the paid account, that gives you that laser focus. But you don't have to pay anything. You could just look for the whole town or city in general to understand what the demand is like in that town or city. Again, if it's in a bigger city like London, Manchester, is good for you to have a paid account, because that will then gives you laser focus on the specific area you are looking at. So let's just assume in this example we're looking to invest in Bournemouth. Bournemouth is a very tourist attractive area. So many people like to holiday in Bournemouth, and we know there may be lots of service accommodation or holiday let in this area. So we just want to see whether there is demand for what we are looking to do in the city. So say we're looking at Bournemouth. And Bournemouth, so you then hit Bournemouth and then you hit search, and then obviously then the system or the website will then ask you to log in. So you can then log in with your credential. Again, you could have free account, or you could also have a paid account, or you could have a paid account. So then once you've hit Bournemouth, it gives you all the information about the city itself. It tells you what the daily average rate is for an apartment or for a flat in Bournemouth. It tells you what the occupancy rate, it says here 67% occupancy rate, and then it obviously tells you what the revenue, what the monthly revenue is likely to be in that area, and also it tells you where the demand are. You can see in August there was huge demand in Bournemouth, and then obviously dropped down in November because of the government lockdown. And also if you look at the left of the website here itself, it tells you what sort of properties are available. There you can see entire home. There are more and home houses, like whole apartment, to take out in this area. And then obviously you've got the private rooms, which is blue, and then obviously you've got the shared houses. And just so that you know, this Airdna mainly concentrate on properties that are listed in Airbnb and Expedia, basically. So, and again, it doesn't shows you what the demand is for booking.com or things like that. But again, as far as I know, most people's got properties in booking.com also list their properties in Expedia or Airbnb. So basically you're looking at the same sort of data anyways. So it tells you also what sort of demand are in there. You can see studio, not a lot of studio there. We've got lots of 1-bedroom apartment there, or 1-bedroom houses. You see we've got 2-bedroom, and we've got 3-bedroom and 5-bedroom and plus. So if you also scroll down, it tells you about the demand in the area or the growth. You can see the movement. You can see that chart there going all the way there, and obviously what sort of amenities are available in those properties. But what I would like you to focus on is on the map here. You can see how many numbers of service accommodations or hotels are in Bournemouth. You can see all the ones with the purple are properties that are either studios or 5-bedroom flat, and then the one with the blue shared accommodation. Basically, it's where you just go in an apartment and then just rent a single room or a double room in that apartment and then obviously use it. And then obviously you've got this one also, which is sort of a holiday home. So if you're looking at the demand, what we normally do, you can see there's lots of properties there, lots of SAs or service accommodation holiday lets in Bournemouth. But we want to know, despite having all that apartment there or all this accommodation, we want to learn whether there's a demand in it, whether people are actually going on holidays. Because I know for the fact that people are going on holiday because nobody's going away on holiday due to the lockdown, and also due to the restriction, because they don't know what would happen when they're away on holiday, whether that country will be on a red list sort of list zone or not. So it's vitally important for you to know that now is the one of the best time to actually go and invest in SAs, because people may be going on holiday within the UK rather than abroad. So what we now do, we want to zoom in to learn about the data. You can see here, you can move the graph, you can move here. I like to look for properties that are very close to the beach, because Bournemouth is a tourist area. We don't really want to look for properties that are not near to the beach, because what happened, most of these tourists or weekend goers want to be as closest to the beach as possible, because that's where everything happens. So I'm going to look at a couple of properties just to see what the demand is like in that. And again, I haven't looked at the data yet. I'm just literally just chose Bournemouth as a random city just to see whether check whether there is a demand in that area. So if we look at this one here, this is in Eastcliff. It's called Bournemouth Beachfront. So what we do, obviously, it tells you what the days the property is available at and what the average rate for that property. Again, occupancy's got padlock in it, and then revenue also has a padlock in it. This is because I'm using a free account. If you had a paid account, all that you would say specific, you can see the specific occupancy rate for that specific property, as well as you can see how much that property is making in terms of revenues. Okay, so what we now do, we click on this, and again it tells you how many bed is it. This is 1 bed, 1 bath, and how many guests it will sleep. And then it also tells you about the rating, and it's a whole house as well. It tells you that it's an entire house. Okay, so if we click on that apartment, it will then take us to Airbnb. You will then be able to look at the photos, the property description, for example. Look at the photos of this apartment looks absolutely amazing. You can see they've even have a, we can see they have swimming pool, and then obviously you've got the outside space. We've got the outside space there. You can see the kitchen, and you can see how the property has been set up. It's set up nicely. Absolutely amazing view in that apartment. So now that's not really what we want to look at. And then obviously, if you want to look at the description as well, you can go and read about the apartment here. And it also, again, it tells you it's an entire apartment. It tells you the title or the name of the actual apartment that you're looking at. And obviously it gives you a photo of the owner of the property itself as well, or the one who's managing it, and then tells you it's got a swimming pool. And then this is the description of the property as well, if you're interested in reading what the property is like. But what I like us to focus is to check what the demand is in the area. This is the magic place of it, right? This is the magic. So you can see here, this property, this apartment itself is being booked since, it's fully booked from the 1st of May to the 31st of May, right? The whole May, basically. If you want to go to that, if you want to reserve that property, you can reserve because it's fully booked, right? And you can see here also June. Again, June is fully booked, right? And then you can look at the here now. You can see June, July is all booked. Again, this is a way to understand whether what you're looking at, whether you want to invest in that area or not. Again, this also helps you say, look at that. So now let's look at a property that may not have as many bookings as possible, so you can see what the demand is like in that area. So looking at this now, you now know it's a telltale sign SAs are working in Bournemouth. But what we want to rubber stamp our analysis to ensure there's absolutely massive demand in that area. Okay, so what we go back, we've chose this apartment, but this time around what I like us to do basically is to find another apartment. How about this one here? Let's have a look at this one. It's a bit far out from the sea, because I want us to look at the one that is closest to the sea and the one that's slightly out of this, just to see what the demand is like for that area, because you may not be able to have an apartment in this area, because this is like the prime location in Bournemouth. If you know Bournemouth, this is the East Cliff area, and this is where lots of hotels and sort of accommodations are. So we need to make sure we know what we're looking at. So again, if you want to be laser focused, go back a little bit, because you might not get an apartment there. So we want to look at this property here. Again, this is called Modern Sea View Apartment 2. And again, that's the title of the property. It's a 3-bedroom apartment, and then you got 1 bathroom, and it sleep 8 people, and then it's got 4.7 rating, and it tells you where the property is listed. It's listed in Airbnb, and then obviously it's listed in Expedia. So what we now do, we click on that also. This then again takes us to Airbnb, and again you can see here it gives you the photos of the property. It's absolutely amazing property. I like the bird view that shows the entire property. It's absolutely amazing. You've got the greenery around the property. Again, it's a very good way to market your property. I like this property already. Again, it's a whole house, and again it's a great location, 100% recent guest reviews, which is absolutely amazing. And obviously there's a description of the property, but that's not what I like us to look at. I like us to look at the demand. Here you go. You can see here from the 1st of May to the 9th of May, the apartment was fully booked, right? Currently, you can only book that property from the 10th to the 14th of May, and then again the 19th and the 27th. You can see June, he's nearly booked in June. He's nearly fully booked in June. You can only book that apartment from the 13th to the 17th of June. Again, you can see whether this is an area you want to invest in, because this is a telltale sign. It tells you there's a demand there, right? It tells you whether it's an area you want to invest in it or not. So once you've done this, you have to be doing probably 4 or 5 properties just within the area that you're interested in, just to make sure that the demand is absolutely sort of realistic demand, because you don't just want to look at one property. You want to look at a minimum of 5 properties to ensure that there's a demand in that specific area before you buy an apartment or before you take on a rent-to-service accommodation property deals. Okay, so the disadvantage of using this Airdna one, you're only looking at properties that are listed that are on Airbnb and Expedia. But again, as I've told you earlier on, most of the properties that are on Airbnb are also in booking.com as well. So for me, all my properties, I've got them both in booking.com as well as Airbnb. So if you can do the analysis on Airdna, it also helps you also understand what the demand is for booking.com as well. So again, guys, this is the way to check demand. It's very simple and easy. Number one, find out where you want to invest, right? And number two, go on Airdna, right, to check demand. If you know the postcode, type the postcode. If you want to look at the city or town, type the name of the city and town, and then obviously bring the map up and then select different areas to understand what the demand is like. I like to do average sort of demand. So what you do, you can look at minimum of 5 or say 6 properties, and then obviously work out what the average sort of occupancy rate in that area is. And again, if you don't really want to be doing that yourself, you could pay for the actual account, so you can get laser focus. You can have the exact occupancy rate as well as the revenue each property is generating, so you can get a feel of what you are likely to generate profit wise. I really hope this video has been helpful and it has shined a light on your investment area, and you can go away and actually use it and work out whether your investment area is a good investment area or not. And again, if you like this video or any of my videos, smash the like button below, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of these videos. And again, I do free property investment crash courses every month. So if you're interested, there's a link on the description below that you could click on and then register for our free property investment crash course. We also have an estate agency here in Cardiff that specializes in sales, letting, management, stuff like that. So if you're interested in letting or managing or want us to manage your property, feel free to contact the team. We'll be happy to help you. And again, thank you so much for listening. I look forward to sharing the next video.